Do we like my very aesthetic couch duct tape? I want to knit a sweater, and I've had one that I've been wanting to do for years and keep procrastinating on. But let me show you what I'm thinking about so far, because I got some ideas. I take a lot of creative inspiration from this designer. She's just so unique in her style and unapologetic. I'm loving it. Of course, an important part of the process is to make sure that all of your yarn has been thoroughly massaged by a cat. It just really helps loosen up the fibers. I attempted something in the past and I didn't like how it worked out, so I've unraveled what I had progressed on with my attempt number 1, trying to do something like this. Swatch number 1, I used 2 strands of drops air. I wanted a little bit more stitch definition than this, and it just looked a little muddy with the drops air being combined with itself, and I wanted something just a little bit more poppy. So I ended up holding it double instead with 1 strand of drops air and 1 strand of drops extra fine superwash merino, both of which I've used a lot of in the past, and I'm actually scaling down on my use of them lately, and this is all I have left of both fiber types. So this is swatch number 2, and what I'm thinking I'm liking more is the pearl side. I like the texture of it. I like the way it displays the color. And swatch number 3, I should have done a little bit more scrappy to get more information, but I did this one as garter stitch, and I think this one's actually my favorite. The only qualm I have with the garter stitch is it's a lot thicker, but I'm guessing after blocking, washing, and wearing this a few times, it'll kind of flatten out over time, and maybe I'll like the squishiness of this. So right now I'm kind of leaning towards doing a garter stitch. What I'm struggling with is how I want to handle the scrappiness of it. In the book, she describes many different techniques that she uses for her scrappy sweaters, and my favorites are the all-over technique. I also really love her Alone Together sweater, and I love how the colors disperse throughout this, but it's a bit late for me to do that. 1, because I don't have enough of the white yarn, and I don't want to buy any more, and 2, because I've already got these balls of yarn, and I don't want to mess with them too much, so I kind of want to work with the colors I have here, making just a few adjustments rather than having to take the whole thing apart, clipping all the knots, and completely redoing how the color work looks. And one more technique that's in her book that I also really love is just scrappy stripes. You know what that looks like. We've done it before. It's more like this, where you're going to have thicker stripes or varying stripe colors. And I like the look of that, but again, I think it's too late to attempt something like that with what I've got going on here. So here's what I'm thinking. Option number 1 is I attempt doing an ombre as I move up, but I don't know if I quite have the right scraps to make that work, and I don't know. I'm on the fence. Option 2 is I minimize the amount of white, because what I really don't like in this swatch is the color pooling. I'd like to minimize the amount of white in here and make it even scrappier, having a bunch of different colors being represented. What I'm also considering is breaking up the white sections in the colors that I already have. So when I reach a section of white, maybe cutting it halfway through and adding in a different color and just breaking up the white, making it look a lot more colorful. I don't know if anyone else sees this, but it looks a little bit too much like camo for me. I'm not a fan of that. Construction-wise, I'm basing this off of a sweater I've already self-drafted. It's the one sitting beneath all of this. This is my Big Hug sweater. I improvised this and knit it up really quickly because I was just so into it, and I'd like to just kind of recreate the shape and size of this. The only change I might make is I think I'd like to make the collar a little bit larger, a little bit wider of a neckline. All right, I think I should get started. It is a beautiful sunny day, but I spent all of yesterday outside hiking, and my body is very sore, so I think it might be an inside day where I just appreciate the fact that the sun's out. Maybe I'll go for a short walk later. But Pippin, she's really saying, stay inside. Don't leave. Don't make unnecessary journeys. Look at this cat, acting like she didn't get cuddled all night last night. Like I didn't wake up at 2 a.m. and just give you pets for a full-on hour. No, let me check your paws. They look a little dry. They look a little dry, but they feel okay. I should get started. I going out? No. Why am I wearing a baseball hat inside? You tell me. There's a cat directly between my feet, and I'm putting in a little too much mental effort to ensure that I do not step on her. She was here first, in her defense, and I'm invading her space right now. Update time? You don't know what this is the project. This is what I'm keeping it in. But I also realized I never showed you the sweater I'm basing this off of. Silly me. Bad YouTuber. Do better. It's this fluffy monstrosity. That's right, I used monstrosity as a term of endearment. It's cute, right? I did 0 shoulder shaping, which is why it kind of curves so much at the sides. Some people really don't like that, but on an oversized sweater, I don't care. I could also probably adjust the way I'm wearing it a little bit. There, it's not as dramatic. This is really just a box. If you saw my how I construct drop shoulder sweater explanation video, that's what this is. That's all we're doing. There's no fancy. The sweater I am working on will be similar in shape to this. The only changes I'm hoping to make is having the neckline be just slightly wider and lower, just to kind of see if I like that. Sleeves, largely the same. And the body, I don't know. I don't know anything about the body yet. Do I want it to be more cropped than this and be like oversized but in a fun croppy way? Or do I want it to be longer, being like full tunic mode? If I do it longer, do I want a split hem or do I want a regular hem? These are great examples of choices, which I am so good at handling. And like a very healthy person would do, I'm gonna ignore them until it's maybe too late. It's top down. I got time to think about the length and the body and how I want it to look. We don't need to worry about that right now. Here's where we're at. It looks really messy holding it up vertically like this. I don't know why I thought standing would be a good way to show you. Too late now. I'm not going back. So I have the front portion down to where I want the sleeves to join, and I have started on the back panel. I still have much progress to make. The neckline is looking pretty wide, and I hope I can keep it that way. I'm going to try not to mess it up when I do the collar. But order of operations. Next step, finish the back panel, join sleeves, work in the round for maybe an inch or two. I just want to start the body, and then I'm going to switch to doing the sleeves. Because I told you I don't know what I'm doing for the body yet, so I want to save that for last. I want to see how much yarn I got. I want to make it go as far as I can. I want to finish the sleeves, do the collar, and then I will do the body. And I think I'm going to let the amount of yarn I have left over determine what I do for the body. So many choices. Are you helping me with any of my choices, Pippin? No? What are you doing to earn your keep? You're putting up with this. That's what you're doing. Good job. Confidence level. 7 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Yes, I think I can continue what I've been doing and it will be fine. I'm mostly scared that I will just finish it, see the whole thing in its scrappy glory, and hate it. That's where the minus 4 points out of 10 is coming from. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I think I like it. And I am choosing to tie my drops air with blown yarn. It's a chainette, so like a big tube, usually made out of some thin cotton material, and they stuff that tube with other fibers. So in the case of drops air, they are stuffing it with alpaca fibers. And because it's a tube, you can string some of the yarn onto a darning needle and shove it into another tube. Do that for a couple inches, and the tension will hold it in place. That's what I've done on previous projects. But this one, I'm not doing that. I am tying it in knots, and that's because doing the tube thing does 2 things that I don't love. 1, hurts my fingers a lot, and doing it this much, the amount that this project would require, too much for my fingers. And 2, it creates a thicker portion, and the way I normally address that is by removing the fibers inside the tube on one end before combining them together, and that's just so tedious. For something this involved, I don't want to do that. I'm leaving my knots. I'm trying it. I've seen other people do this before. Seems pretty wild to me. Looks a little messy, but this whole thing looks so messy that I don't really care. Like, it's just part of the aesthetic. What are we thinking of this design choice, right? Just full hole for the belly? This would be good if you're like pregnant and want everyone to know. All right, I'm gonna get started on that after I go for a walk. I didn't want to deal with having bangs this morning, so this is the hairstyle we're going with. I always felt like I had a very normal sized forehead, until getting bangs, and that makes me feel like I have a large forehead, which makes me think everyone I've ever met that has had bangs long term hates their forehead. I think your bangs make you hate your forehead. I think your forehead's just fine. So that's my hypothesis. All right, should we do an update? This isn't the sweater. This is just the same yarn though. Oh, Pippin. She had a problem with the camera angle. Can't blame her. It's a bit haphazard. Should we cover some progress? In a more confident other life, I feel like I could just wear this as is. I have made a creative choice on this, and I am not sure how it's going, but I'm just gonna keep doing it. I do need to fix some things though because of this creative choice being made. The choice being to have a blob of blue around the left side here. And I didn't think about it until I was working on the back panel, so I had a little bit more time to prep with the back panel, and I wanted it to fade into the blue just a little bit. I need to go back and I want to do basically duplicate stitching where I'm removing the drops air thread from a round or section and replacing it with the blue yarn. So hopefully I can add a couple more blue stripes up here, and then I'd like to remove the black and blue stripes from over here a little bit, not entirely. The idea is that it'll look like a fade, but doing one horizontally feels very fun. This is not an original idea. I saw this on Pinterest and I could not find the pin anywhere. So this is from Manistrick on Instagram, and you see what they did there? That's kind of what I'm doing, just on a larger scale and a little bit scrappier. At this point, I am going to stop where I am at the body, and I'm going to switch to doing the sleeves and the collar. I think I should do the collar first, even though I haven't decided on the collar. I definitely like how the fade is looking on the back more than the front, which gives me hope that I can adjust the front to be a little bit better. Because right now it's just like a stark, the blue starts here. But we're doing good. It's looking scrappy. And that's the thing. Bear with, as I am sick, I shall make this talking portion small. Let's talk about what I've done. The sleeves, you may have noticed. I still need to do the collar, and again was going back and forth so much, and still am a little bit, because I like the idea of having this be really wide neck, but it's such a heavy, thick, warm sweater that it makes no sense for me to have it be this wide neck. I'd be cold. I think I'm just gonna do a regular rib neckline. A creative choice we talked about earlier was my inclusion of this like blue section here, and I still need to go back and basically get rid of all of the blue and black on this half of the sweater and move it over to this half. And I also like the look of, when you look at the sleeve here, the lack of blue. I just put a teensy bit here and there. I really love the way the blue section looks on the back here. And then having this side be almost exclusively blue and black. Threw in a couple like cool tones here and there. There are little bits of purple, little bits of green. But having that separation feels like it makes this sweater make sense. I am also running out of yarn. I have plenty of the Drops Air scraps left over, but I've been holding it double with the strand of extra fine superwash merino from Drops that I have, and I'm going to run out of that very soon. I was hoping I could avoid buying more. I might stash dive and see if I have any other like white merino, but we'll see. I'm not overthinking it. I'm really trying not to. I was telling someone I want to think of this as my ugly sweater. This is my ugly sweater where I'm not allowed to overthink things. And that's the point of this sweater, is just to like let go, have fun, see what happens. So far it's okay.
Everything all right, Mrs. Hale? Can I interest any of you in fruit? Or... All the windows have bars, all the doors are locked.
He had threatened to kill me in public. Why would he want to kill you in public?
I think she meant he threatened in public to kill her.
I enjoy getting presents from strange men.
I just wanted to do a quick update to show you that I have moved over most of the blue from this side of the sweater and moved it over onto this side, and I'm liking it so much more. I don't need it to be a perfect fade for this one. I'm not really going for that, but I wanted to bring at least a little bit of color order to this very chaotic experiment of a sweater. I have left this little black stripe here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to take that out or not. I think I'm just going to finish the sweater and see how I feel about that little black strip, because it feels just kind of awkward and out there, but there's an argument that it could be potentially balancing compositionally. I haven't really fussed with the back though. I've kind of left it be, and because I'm not going to be looking at the back of the sweater, and I think the back of the sweater is cute in its own right, I don't think I'm going to fuss with that. I only have this much of my merino left over. Big question is going to be, Do I buy more? I don't want to. So I think I'm gonna work through the body as much as I can and just use this up, see how far that gets me. Okay, I just went through my stash and I don't think I have a valuable substitute. This is the closest I have, and it's just too dark for me when the whole thing has been held with a certain strand of white to suddenly switch to a duller, more beigey white. Nah, not the move. That would bother me. So I'm going to continue with my plan to just use this up, see where that gets me, and maybe I'll buy more. Okay, I've spent most of my Sunday just working on this and doing nothing else, and I've ran out of the merino yarn, and I'm going to buy more, I think. First, I want to block it. I want to see if this is going to grow at all, because if this grows another 2 inches, I'm fine with it. But at its current length, it's a little too short. And I haven't worked with garter stitch pretty much ever. Like, I skipped right to stockinette stitch with knitting, and I'm not sure how it's going to behave post-blocking. So I'm going to go ahead and block this first, and if it's still too short, I'm going to order the yarn. Okay, I blocked it, and it's actually kind of perfect. Before I forget, I may or may not be going to London at the end of April, the very last week in April, and I happen to know that I have more subscribers in London than any other city in the world. So I need you Londoners to show up if you want and give some recommendations for things to do. I will be essentially solo traveling it during the day every day. So I have the whole day to myself until around 7 p.m. The only plans I have now is I want to go see a play in the West End and I want to do a volunteer activity. Other than that, I'm looking for like cute neighborhoods to walk around, small businesses that I can visit. I'd love to go like thrift shopping, secondhand clothing shopping, maybe finding some independent yarn stores, fabric stores. I'm leaning more towards fabric because I kind of have a lot of yarn, but it's still nice to like walk around and look. So please, any advice, tips, recommendations, neighborhood streets, things, places, anything. And yes, traveling in April in London. I'm just going to go in expecting it to be rainy the entire time, and I'll be happily surprised if it's not. I need to look up like London streetwear. I like to blend in as much as humanly possible, but this is my first time traveling to an English-speaking country, so I'm very excited. Yay for my husband having to travel for business, because that's the only way we can do this. All we have to pay for is my plane ticket and my food, because his ticket and the hotel room are totally covered. It's awesome that we get to do that. So he'll be working the entire time, and I'm going to try not to rub my vacation in his face while he's working the entire time. But we'll get together in the evenings and have dinner. I am pretty sad, though, because I'm going to miss Lily Allen being nearby because she's doing a tour of her new album, and I would love to see that in concert. I might bring this sweater with me. I don't know. I try to dress fancier if I'm going to Western Europe, just because when I was in Spain, everyone was dressed so nicely. And I'm guessing that London, it's a major city. I'm guessing it's a little bit more dressy than the United States, but a little bit less dressy than Malaga, Spain.
I'm gonna tell you that I love you 100 times a day. You'll get tired of my voice, that's how much I'm gonna tell you that I'll miss you. I'll miss you if you go. Yes, I'm gonna let you know just how much I tell you, mama. I tell you, papa, too. I'm gonna let everyone know about my love, so I really hope you love me too. Yeah, I really hope you love me too. I'm gonna tell you, gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you that I need you. I need you every day. You'll get weary of my touch, that's how much I'm gonna tell you that I want you. I want